Dio over there. I prefer Einstein's Glock. We don't talk about that. That's a secret weapon, man. I got one. I got like one of those. Einstein's Glock, motherfucker. E equals these cats in your. E equals these caps in your ass. Cat, 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 cat.
God, fucking our there's all sorts of weird shit in that fucking. You say like Einstein's Glock, and I'm thinking of like Tesla's death ray right behind it, which they still have not figured out how he pulled that shit off.
Yes, is the answer to that question.
Well, like, the sad part is, like, he died and sit there and went out of his way to say, it's like, yeah, I don't think humanity's ready for this. And I'm sitting there looking at it, it's like, you're right, bro. Yeah, humanity's still not ready for this motherfucker.
Hell, Tesla was a man who was ahead of his time.
Yeah, other than the fact that he was getting fucking slammed by fucking,
everybody.
Edison. No, like, Edison was the biggest one.
Yep.
But then again, Edison did so much more fucked up shit. I mean, Edison literally fried a fucking elephant.
Yeah. Stomping the elephant. Yeah.
Like, literally, to sit there and, like, you know, as a smear campaign against Tesla, that was using Tesla's own shit. It's like, motherfucker.
Just imagine if they actually decided to work together. That'd be some shit.
Well, money and greed, man. You know how it is.
Yeah, the problem is with human nature and stuff, money and greed. Everything turns into a friggin' dick measuring contest in some way, shape, or form.
Yep.
Especially when Das, when he wants to... Especially Das, when his pride comes into play.
What the fuck? I don't recognize the jackass punching, but I do recognize the Arthur one after it. It's like a green glob.
Green glob?
Yeah, it's something Dio posted.
What, the group chat?
Yeah, it's for the memes.
Oh. I gotta keep remembering, turning myself into V restores health.
That would help, yeah. It's kind of like the Devil Trigger I no longer use now that I have fucking Sin Devil Trigger. It's like...
It's better
yeah,
Devil Trigger!
But it doesn't restore health.
Arthur beating up Vegeta.
Yeah, I recognize that. I don't recognize the one before that.
It's from a children's show.
That doesn't surprise me.
Mm-hmm. Another children's show that's about, whatchamacallit? Well, basically any children's show this day and age about something educational, things of that nature. When your ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, and my niece watches that crap.
There ain't nothing wrong with it, but yeah, it's just I don't recognize it, basically.
Hold on, wait a minute. No, wait, no, that's from a different show that recently came out. I think it's called Smile Crew. I actually had to look hard at that. It's produced by Adult Swim.
Alright, sure, whatever.
Smile Crew, Smile Street, or something like that.
Talking beyond me, man.
Oh no, there are enemies that are spawning behind me that I really don't give a damn about because I can keep moving forward and it's allowing me.
Alright, it's like, fuck them.
Yeah. Okay, now I actually have to fight. Until it gives me the option like, hey, you can't just keep moving. The hell I can't.
I don't see no red wall. Oh god, what was that? I ended up watching not that long ago. It's a new Disney movie.
Be more specific.
The one with the magical house?
Oh, that one. Yeah, my mom and my mom's sister and the ladies in the family were watching that the other day.
Yeah, no, it's like I was hanging out and I was watching that with Gardevoir here, and alright, I just want to say the flower chick is a cunt. Like half the movie at least.
Well, there, guy.
No, this is coming from, like, you know, she was just being a bitch 90% of the time. It's like, no, she earned that.
But that language is not allowed on Twitch. Literally that word specifically.
That's what editing is for.
Oh, you're just gonna beat that part? Alright, cool. You fucking better. My channel gets a flag because of you. I will literally smash your pumpkin.
We've never been flagged for it before, but I do try to avoid it.
That guy got launched. That guy got launched by Jap store.
Alright, yeah, I actually have to go look up the title.
But yeah, I know the show that you're talking about. Oh fuck, he's so. I have bitch!
It's like Enchanto or something like that?
Like, I know the movie you're talking about.
It is, it's Enchanto, or Encanto. Encanto? I don't know how you say that. Anyway, but, like, I do remember, like, I was sitting there arguing with, Gardevoir and the others here. Whereas, like, you know, we were trying to figure out different odds and ends of the angle, and I'm sitting there looking at it, it's like, yeah, her magical ability is to hold the family together. And I called that fucking as, like, fairly early. And then, like, the rest of the movie happens, like, told you motherfuckers.
So what, the chick with the main character, her ability is to keep the family together.
Okay, so, apparently, like, have you seen the movie? Let's go with that.
No, I have not.
Alright, do you have any care to see the movie?
Not really. Unless it's on in front of me and it's just there, then no.
Okay, short version of this is, well, I'll try to keep it as brief as I can.
Spoilers, by the way.
Yeah, spoilers like a motherfucker. So, a family was running away from a place that was inhospitable due to bandits. Short version. They don't really explain that, so I don't get into it. Anyway, so, husband, wife, and their 3 sons. Like, they had triplets right off the bat. I'm sitting there like, motherfucker, damn.
God damn, dude.
Seriously, it's like, good shot.
Yeah, I mean, dude just kind of avoid being chased by Ben. He's feeling really good about himself there,
Right. Anyway, so they wanted to start family, a bunch of bands start fucking raiding the town, blah, blah, blah. Like, she delivers the kids, and it's like they hit the road. I'm trying to get away from the bands and all that shit. And the bandits come after them and the group that had decided to follow them. And so the father's like, don't worry, honey, I got this. You all run ahead. So Dad's dead.
He died a valiant death.
Pretty much. But they were holding onto this candle, and no, it's not explained, and I'm sure it makes more sense in the culture. I'm just going to say that right now. The candle grants a miracle.
Okay.
And it basically raises the walls all around them to basically create this kind of like valley where they're like sustainable by themselves. And instantly builds a house for like the mother and the 3 children. I mean, fuck everybody else that was with me, but it's like, it's a magical house. Okay, sure. We're going with this. Anyway, so fast forward, the mother lives in a magical house. The 3 children are all granted magical abilities by this candle that will never go out. Like, one of them gets to control the weather, another one can see the future, and I forget what the last one did.
One had, well, that's probably in the later end of the family.
Yeah, that's the later end of the family. That's the one I think you're talking about.
Yeah, like...
Then there's a second line, where now the second line of the Matricals, all of these people have children, blah, blah, and so, like, you know, the second run is, like, one of the daughters is super strong, one of them can, like, create blossoms from anything, God, there's so many of them. One of them can talk to animals. Like, it's kind of a lot to take in really quick. And they do it in a song just like, we need to get the plot moving, guys! Anyway. Then they get to the one chick who's, like, kind of narrating the whole story. And she has no magical powers, even though she's of age and lives in the house.
basically like Midoriya in My Hero, who's born with no quirk and blah 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 and all that stuff.
Right. Something like that, yeah. Anyway, and so the family somewhat rejects her, and when I say the family, it's more like the grandmother of this particular person, who is the same person who held the candle and had the 3 kids originally. And just basically just shames the fuck out of her the entire movie. Is like, you know,
I believe to why.
Yeah, it's like, why are you such a problem child? Like, everything you do and you touch just goes to ruin, and it's like, fuck you.
Jeez, Grandma, tell me how you really feel.
Seriously. Anyway,
oh, shit.
And so one of the original 3, the first run of children, his name's Bruno, and he has the ability to like see into the future. He's a seer, basically, and they think Bruno is bad luck because everything he foresees comes to pass, but he could only ever foresee things of ruin. But like, I'm listening to this, is like, he's not bad luck, just all this shit's gonna happen.
I mean,
like,
you can't blame the guy. If I'm seeing the future and all I see is bad shit happening, you can't blame him.
Yeah, and that's, like, they make a big point, like, how, like, Bruno ran off, and it's like, because, like, he would sit there and he'd walk around the town, and it's like, your goldfish will die, you will gain weight, you will go bald. Like, these are all things that are going to happen.
Yeah, because if they really... I don't know, it's possible that they can try to... Well, besides the goldfish die like friggin' like that.
Yeah.
As quickly as you buy them, but the guy going bald, there's like barely anything you can do about that. It could be hereditary.
Well, and even at a certain point, and it's like, I see where you're going with the one argument. It's like, oh, well, the guy could, you know, upkeep himself. But it's
there's stuff like gaining weight, like like gaining weight, like
at some point you can't combat that anymore. Yeah, because your body's just physically not able to keep up with strain anymore.
Right.
But, you know, and they're like, oh, well, Bruno's a herald of the darkness and blah, 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 and he disappeared, we don't talk about Bruno anymore, which is where the song We Don't Talk About Bruno comes from. Which is actually a fucking kick-ass song, I'm not gonna lie.
I'll probably end up... I think it's on Disney Plus, I'll look at it.
It is, that's where we watched it.
Alright, cool.
Anyway, but it was a pretty kick-ass song, I'm not gonna lie. So... his last prophecy before he up and disappeared, fucking, was basically of, I think her name was Maria, is the main character, if memory serves. And it was a prophecy of Maria, but it wasn't complete. Like, if you looked at it one way, like, Maria would sit there and, like, you know, restore the family. If you looked at it another way, she would destroy the family. And, like, both versions were true. And then as you start getting into it, and like with other odds and ends, it's like, oh my god, the hell I can. But you start getting into it, and like you start learning that it's not just Maria that the grandmother is putting all this pressure on. Like, she is forcing everyone to be at the top of their game. Like the chick who's super strong, like, literally has to fucking be super strong, or else it looks like the family itself is weak, kind of thing.
Jeez, but, talk about family pressure.
Yeah, and like the perfect grandchild who was supposed to be getting married off in this movie, like, has to be perfect. Otherwise, the family will be looked as weak and will lose control of the miracle, kind of thing. Like, it's literally like playing this like family pressure thing to the umpteenth degree, in which I'm sitting there like, I can see this in a half, kind of thing.
I see it and I don't like it.
Yeah, it's like, I gotta give credit that they framed it well. And like, again, with Maria, quote unquote, being the only one that doesn't have powers, is like, there were two things that struck me initially from this. Is like, for one, is like, I always sit there and think of like the reverse hyperbole. Thank you. Whereas, like, just because it looks like one thing doesn't mean it's that way. Like, My Hero Academia. Where, the younger brother of,
Shoto
All For
Todoroki's.
One.
Oh, All For One, he was forced to have a quirk.
No, he had no quirk, but it wasn't true.
Right.
What he had was a quirk that didn't respond to anything except if another quirk acted on it. In this case, it had to be All For One. That's the only way it would have worked.
Yeah, because it was forced on him by his older brother.
Well, right, but it's like he had a latent quirk. That was the thing.
Yep. By the way, how far are you in that series?
I have finished season 4. I have not watched season 5 because it's all still like subtitled.
And you prefer dubbed.
I'm a dub guy. I can't help it.
Okay, yeah, well, I'm gonna let that go. But yeah, proceed.
Anyway, but it was something like that. And so I always think of stuff like that whenever it's like you have a group of people, except one jackass that doesn't have quote-unquote a power or something like that.
Or up to whatever group standards.
Right. It's like, it's one of those things like, well, I don't think you're looking in the right places kind of thing. And so like, Meteora, or Midori, however you want to fucking phrase
Midoriya.
That. Yeah, sure. Like, yeah, he didn't have the power, but he had the potential to have power, basically. And that's how it all played out, basically. And in this one, like, in Chanto, whereas, like, the house gives you a power at a potential age, quote-unquote. Like, it's your birthright at, like, when you turn teenager or some crap like that. I forget how they work it. But anyway, it's given to you the same day you get a room. Otherwise, you stay in the nursery. And once you become of age, you move into a room proper. Room, ergo, being a reflection of your person, blah, blah, blah.
Person of growth, your growth as a person, then your, potential unlocked, and that accordingly, correct?
Right. Something along those lines. And they allude to this with the second person, the next one that would be coming of age, which was like this little kid, and he was really familiar with animals, and then he opened his door to his room, and it gave him the power to speak to animals. I was like, okay, I can kind of see that. And then, like, whenever they flash back to Maria and her trying to open her door just disintegrates, kind of thing. And like, so I combined, like, my first notion is like, well, her power is to sit there and hold the family together. And then my second notion came to my mind, whereas the house had nothing that it could give her of worth, was my first thought.
Yeah, that actually makes sense, because, like, damn it, I was trying to go that way, but whatever, we're here now. Yeah, that house wanted to give her something, but it couldn't give her anything of actual use, of literal use, because, like, whatever ability that she would get would pale in comparison to what she actually deserves. Right,
and like, the movie goes out of its way to kind of set up certain characters and certain, like, hallmarks, whereas, like, the perfect granddaughter has to be perfect, the strong granddaughter has to be strong, and, like, they even go into town and, like, they fix shit, and, like, the town is dependent on these people. Like, oh, hey, Luis, like, the donkeys got out again, you mind rounding them all up again? I mean, I can do it, but, you're just so much faster and stronger, and, like, she'll snap too. It's like, I'm on it, let's go.
My thing is, if I gotta do this shit for you daily, am I getting paid for this?
Well, they don't really get into that because they're trying to keep the story simple.
Of course.
But yeah, my thoughts would be there too. It's like
have me do all this extra work that you could have clearly done with your animals continuously getting out. Why am I not getting paid for your bullshit here?
But no, like, it's like they're straight up dependent on each other. But like, as you listen to, like, how different ones talk to each other, Like, there is a straight hierarchy, but since Maria is like the quote-unquote the weakest and smallest, they feel the most comfortable around her, and they're willing to open up to her, compared to the grandmother archetype, who's like, you will be perfect.
You will do as I say because of the hierarchy of this family.
And like, of course they don't frame it that way, but if you know
really
anything
is.
about story writing, like, you can see it pretty blatantly, kind of thing.
Ow, ow.
The matriarch, yeah. But yeah, that's basically what it was. It's like, you know, the matriarch of this family was like, she was strong-willed to the point that it's like, she would be damned if this family was going to lose access to the miracle that they had been given. Not so much like corrupted, like somebody like the chick from Tangled. Like, not like that. Like, legitimately, like, I honestly care about everybody, but I'm also, like, going to force you all to be something that you're not.
Like most parents.
Shocking, ain't it?
I know, right? Like most parents and families.
Well, again, I didn't want it to come across as, like, Tangled, because it wasn't Tangled. Like, it was something of a different flavor.
Whatchamacallit, what's that movie called? Frozen. I think that's where you're getting at. Something that you're... Because literally Elsa did not want to... I mean, that power was just kind of there. She just kind of existed around it. She never had a chance to, in a sense of that stupid-ass song, Let It Go up to the high mountain and just kind of, you know, do everything without having to worry about people being in the way or getting caught up in her mess.
Yeah. Well, I guess, but, like, if anything, I would say that role was forced upon her, and it's like she wasn't allowed to transition to it properly. Like, in this one, it's like, you know, as Dio pointed out, the matriarch of the family is like, she's basically keeping everybody in check and keeping everybody in line. Like, she basically, like, at one point, you can actually see people standing outside their door like a fucking drill instructor kind of thing. You know, where they're like, oh, it was like, you know, are you up, type and ship and ready to go to help serve the community? And it's like, she means it in noble intention, just like, she does not care if, like, you know, you have any kind of desire to be anything other than what you need to be.
But I don't want to do this. Well, that's too damn bad.
Pretty much, and like that's how the matriarch rolled. And it's like, you know, she's like, she'll be high water or damn before like this miracle goes out, kind of thing. It's like, okay.
If I gotta thoroughly put this, I just see picture grandma with the slipper about to beat everybody's ass who don't listen.
You're not that far off. That's
oh
a sad
god,
part.
she pulls out the slipper.
No, she never. This is a Disney movie. They don't threaten violence.
This is a Disney movie. What you think about threatened by violence?
This is a new Disney movie. Disney doesn't roll out the fucking we're gonna beat somebody with a fucking slipper anymore. It's just not how they roll.
Well, it's usually not a slipper. It's usually like a belt or like no, because
you know what I mean, jackass.
No, because I don't want to sound racist. I really don't. Because my Hispanic
go fast.
My Hispanic friends have told me their grandmother has pulled out a slipper, getting ready to beat their ass over the most little things. I'm like, is that a thing?
No. Yes.
Like, is that normal? Is that actually a thing? Like, just straight up slipper. And literally, even though grandma has arthritis, she still flings that bitch like a frisbee. I'm like, god damn. Like,
I do actually remember fucking back in the day when I was like signed up with Loki's Armed Forces, like motherfucker and the drill instructors could fucking sling them fucking envelopes like they were fucking razor blades.
Exactly. Like, is that a thing? Me over there like, why is that a thing?
Serve my yes. Yes.
Like, damn. Alright, like, yeah, because I don't want to say that's a stereotype when it comes to Hispanic elders, specifically elderly women, but apparently I've asked a lot of my Hispanic friends and they told me yes. It doesn't matter to grandma, she will beat your ass with that slipper out of nowhere. I'm like, that is scary.
Well, the most common one I've heard of is, well, it's from the comedian Fluffy. It's like, you know, like, most of my introduction to, like, you know, Hispanic culture came from him, but it's like, it got back, let me rephrase.
Gabriel Iglesias.
Yeah.
For those of you that want to know who Fluffy is.
Yeah. Let me rephrase. Like, my introduction to Hispanic culture was not through Gabriel, but it's like through Loki's Armed Forces. And Gabriel just kind of backed up everything they said is true.
They knocked me out of my super. I'm upset about that. The wasted meter.
It's like, motherfucker, it's like, I can see this now. I can see all of this.
Fucking Nightmare just flies in all off screen and shit.
He flies in. He lands like a motherfucker. It's like, hey guys, I'm here.
He just flies in like, dude, you missed the entire fight. Usually... There we go.
Well, I know, from what I've been told, you know, Hispanic culture leans towards that thing was because the females are not as strong as the males, so the females are more likely to use weapons of opportunity, as I refer to it, in the spanking process.
Like, I don't have a switch, I don't have a belt, got my slipper.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Grandma pulled out the slipper. Run! Like,
or, what was it, God, what was it? Shaw, or Hobbs and Shaw? The fucking one of the, Fast and Furious spin-offs?
Yeah.
Where,
yeah. I already know where you're going, but for the folks at home, who's gonna ask?
Alright, so in the movie, Hobbs and Shaw, I think it was Hobbs, is, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's character.
Yeah, he's Hobbs.
Yeah, okay. So they have to go back to Hobbs's fucking family home, and he has to sit there and confront his brother, who, for the context of the movie, I'm just gonna sum this up real quick. His father Dwayne's character turned in his father for taking him on missions that would likely get him and his brother killed. But his brother didn't see it that way, and so he hates Hobbs. That's the short version of it. Anyway, the mom didn't fucking feel like too cross about this shit because it's the mom, but the two brothers reunite after something like, I think like 10 to 15 years, some crap like that.
A long enough time for the hate to fester.
Yeah, and just fucking like throws a shoe at fucking Dwayne's character. It's like, no, my babies won't be fighting.
It's like... Which is hilarious, like, throws a slipper, I'm like, you got it, Ma.
Yes, Mama. Like, I can't even be mad. I can't even be mad.
Oh, and also in the movie The Book of Life, also makes me laugh because, like, one of the main characters basically goes to the afterlife in hell. And they see, like, the two beings that represent the actual cycle of life and death in that culture. I forget their names specifically. Like, she, like, oh, they confirm, like, oh, you cheated him out of his actual life because you didn't want to lose your bet. She's talking to the guy who's basically representing the bad end of the circle of life, the death part. And like, excuse me, can you pick me up real quick? She gets picked up by the Lady of Life, takes her slipper off, smacks him, and then asks to be put back down gently. I'm like, God damn! All right.